saw infrastructure as a big opportunity in the Web3 space, especially in the enterprise segment where people were struggling deploying and managing their networks. So that's how Zeeve was born 2 years back. We set up a company in US and with a tech team based out of India and Dubai. So it has been an exciting journey so far, building Zeeve.
Can you tell us more about the project? I know that Corium is core infrastructure for enterprise, basically solutions, and that's kind of like what you're doing. You're enterprise grade Web3 infrastructure, and you're working with a lot of big protocols, some of the top protocols that all of us would know, from Ethereum to BNB, Avalanche, Polygon, and more. But then you also, what was really interesting was the connections you have with the enterprise blockchain, such as the Hyperledger, R3 Corda. Can you tell us more about like what you're doing and some of the solutions that you're bringing to the space?
Yep. So we in fact are very unique. So I'll tell you first what Zeeve is. So Zeeve is a Web3 infrastructure as a service platform. We help developers, Web3 startups, and enterprises to deploy and manage their blockchain nodes or networks. In addition, a few months back, we also launched the shared APIs, very secure and very fast RPC endpoints for quite a few public protocols. So today, the product suite is Elastic APIs, and then you can set up full nodes, archive nodes, validator nodes of various blockchains. And then in the case of enterprise protocols like Fabric, R3 Coda, you can set up a whole network in just few clicks and highly configurable wizard-based interface. We have about 15,000 plus developers, Web3 startups using the platform, and 30 plus large enterprises who are using us to manage their blockchain infrastructure. And the thing is that we have been very high on decentralization and distributed architecture from day one. So we are very uniquely positioned in the market where we offer bring your own cloud. So any customer, they do not need to depend on our managed cloud services. They can bring their own cloud, authenticate their cloud accounts, and set up everything within their own cloud environment. And we are supporting AWS, Google, Azure, DigitalOcean, and then recently we have added Tencent and OVH Cloud to the fold. So and we are adding more and more clouds as we go forward. So idea and then we also support on-premise deployment. So idea is that we truly want to move towards a decentralized infra protocol. And next year we are also going to launch the whole RPC endpoints on a very shared and distributed architecture, so that users are not dependent on our managed infrastructure to access the Web3 infrastructure. So that's what the Zeeve project is all about. And so from the enterprise space, I think, when we started with Fabric and R3 Coda, I see that, once tokenization use cases started picking up, um, enterprises have started feeling that Fabric and R3 Coda do not do the whole justice, because one, they have a lot of permissioning. There's not even a single public flavor. So it does not have the true tenets of a decentralized ledger. So there came a space where hybrid blockchains can enter, which provides all the comfort that are required by the enterprises, but at the same time has got a public blockchain flavor. And that's where I think enterprise graded blockchain like Corium fits in very well. And that excited us to connect with Corium, partner with them, and apply for a grant in their first cohort. So that's how the whole excitement about Corium started.
Yeah, it really seems like it's a perfect combination with both of you guys working together. So, how did that relationship come to be? Because I noticed that you guys are both going to be in New York next week. You guys are both going to be speaking. Bob's going to be there. You're
Yeah.
going to be there. It seems like a pretty. I'm a big believer in Cosmos as well. Sunny is going to be there. Like all the big names are going to be there. So, how long have this relationship with the Sologenic team existed?
Yeah, so the relationship I would say is quite young. We have known each other for last 4 months, but I think the relationship is maturing and growing at a rapid pace. We have a dedicated tech team who is right now working on integrating Corium on the Zeeve platform. We are starting with shared APIs and node architecture. So in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we'll launch shared APIs, Elastic RPC endpoints, and at the same time, anybody would be able to deploy full nodes or archive nodes or validator nodes of Corium using Zeeve platform. So it would be pretty much like a one-click deployment. And on the shared APIs, I would like to add here that, based on our several assessment, our Elastic APIs are much faster even than QuickNode or Alchemy. And at the same time, they are highly secure and reliable. We have not faced a single downtime, and just because of our architect, a very distributed architecture.
This is a random question, but there's going to be opportunities for people like yourself to become validators on Corium Network. Do you guys see yourselves pursuing that, or no?
No, so with all the partners, we definitely take one validator node, but we are not in validator as a service kind of offering. So we are not into liquid staking. We are not into validator as a service. But yes, just being a partner, we definitely take interest in being a validator. So normally we
Nice,
host one or two validator nodes for the protocol, and we definitely do that. Will definitely would be interested in doing that with Corium also.
nice. Yeah, that's going to be huge if we get some high quality professionals like yourself validating the chain. I think that'll be awesome for Corium. So, what are some of the hot topics in the industry? Like, what are you going to be speaking about on your panel this upcoming week in New York?
We joined the Benzinga Future of Crypto event. It's happening on Wednesday, 7th December in New York. So I'm moderating a panel, and some of the panel participants are from Ava Labs and Offchain Labs, the Arbitrum guys, and Tejos. So the topic is scalability of layer one protocols, and we know that the whole scalability dimension has picked up very well in last couple of years, and we have been seeing quite a interesting solutions. So starting from layer twos, where we typically see Polygon, and then Arbitrum, etc. And then apart from that, we are also seeing some of the protocols like Avalanche, and in fact Polygon also. They have come up with, and Polkadot, the whole substrate ecosystem, where they have a concept of subnets or parachains or supernets. So that's again a different way of. So idea is, the whole topic will be talking about different ways by which different blockchains are achieving, or different layer ones are achieving scalability, and a lot of interesting ways are. So one of the interesting project that came out of India is Shardium. They are using sharding chains. So yeah, so there are various ways by which scalability is being talked about today. So it would be very interesting panel, and a very esteemed panel. And then yeah, definitely one of the most exciting part of the conference is to meet the Corium team in person. That would be the first time that we would be meeting the Corium team. So I'll have my VP of sales also, who is based out of US, in the conference. So yeah, so we are looking forward to the conference and meeting Corium team.
Oh yeah, I noticed that you guys are located out of Santa Monica. That's actually my home area where I'm from. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Beautiful
yeah.
area.
No, it is. So our office is in Santa Monica. I'm right now in LA, in fact. Um, so and our head of sales. So we are building a whole sales team and marketing team to connect with the customers, and customer support team out of LA.
Yeah, I'm in Las Vegas, so I'm right next door. I believe the Coreum team is going to be hosting a big event when mainnet launches in Los Angeles. So I'll probably end up beating you and your team sooner than later. So that's going to be
No,
fun.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. We would definitely be there.
I'm sure the relationship's going to kick off on a whole nother level when you're in New York and you guys shake each other's hands and you're able to, build more trust in each other. So, can you tell us more? I think you already mentioned earlier. Can you get really specific on what this grant from the Corium Foundation is all about? Like, what is this integration into the Zeeve platform going to look like, and how is this whole thing? Can you paint us a picture?
Yeah. So so today, if you see, let's talk about the node infrastructure and the Elastic API infrastructure. So one, any developers who would be building on Corium would require shared APIs. So most of the DeFi platforms or NFT platforms and various kind of other decentralized applications. So they do require RPC endpoints to connect with the blockchain, submit transactions, and then confirm transactions, etc. So that's one very core component of Web3 infrastructure that is required. So yes, there are public endpoints provided by the protocol, but they are like limited in scalability because the purpose is not for a large usage. So that's where we come in. We provide a very enterprise grade infrastructure where we run thousands of nodes in the backend, and the nodes are highly distributed. There is no chance of any failover or downtime, and so it's high on performance, high on reliability and security. So developers can use these endpoints to connect with the Corium blockchain. So that is the first component. The second component is the node infrastructure. So some of the developers may need to set up a full node or archive node because they require the historical transactions, and or they would like to have a dedicated infrastructure. So in those scenarios also, it becomes very important because one way is to set up manually using the Corium documentation. But then, we give an alternative where again they can set up a node in just few clicks. It's a complete do-it-yourself with a very solid documentation and some sample codes, etc., where you can set up the node and Zeeve not just help you deploy the node, but also manage and monitor on an ongoing basis. So we ensure the health of the network or the node and ensure that the infra is up and running at all point of time so that developers can continue to focus on their core application and do not need to worry about the DevOps or the underlying infrastructure. And the third is the validator nodes. So validator nodes again, validators are most of the validators are typically investors, who may not have technical expertise. So they again, rather than doing it manually, they can use Zeeve service where again with few click deployments you can set up a node, and it's a completely non-custodial node infrastructure. So we do not at any point of time have access to any of their keys, etc. But we are just managing the underlying infrastructure, and we ensure that the validator nodes are up and running, and that becomes very critical for any public blockchain like Korea. That all the validator nodes are up and running, they are performing, they're high on performance, so that there's no latency in the network. Developers who are consuming various services on the network get to have a very standardized and high performing infrastructure to deal with. So, and then of course, consensus itself is the most important component of the Web3 infrastructure. So that's how Zeeve integration helps deploy, manage, monitor, and then one of the largest part of the integration would be whole ledger data queries. So as we know that data structure in a blockchain is much more complex than a Web2 environment. So here the data resides in different blocks. And if you want to query a complex query that, for example, take an NFT query, that if you want to know for a specific contract or who are the current owners, now that kind of data will reside in multiple blocks. So it's not a simple query where you can fetch this data. So you require a complete infra where you have an indexing protocol that indexes all the data within the blockchain, different blocks. And then, a very sophisticated API layer that can help you run different sort of complex queries on the blockchain ledger. So that's the largest part of our integration because we'll be creating the whole underlying infrastructure, including the indexing protocol and APIs through which, token APIs, NFT APIs, DeFi APIs. So, for example, you must have seen on DeFi platforms, you see analytical dashboard where you see all the data. What is the TVL, filtered by various pairs or various tokens, etc. So all this data are actually consume complex queries on the ledger data. So this fourth component is going to enable anybody to run even complex queries on the Corium ledger data. So these are largely four components, and then in addition to that, of course, we are planning a lot of joint Web3 initiatives. We are very high on Web3 learning initiatives. So we are doing a lot of hackathons, webinars, and then we are launching a 10K Web3 builder course where we are going to train 10,000 Web2 developers to become Web3 developers. So there are quite a few Web3 initiatives where we are partnering with Corium. So not just on the tech side, but we'll also you know disseminate a lot of learning how to use Corium, etc., to our existing developers as well as developers that we are onboarding through various courses and hackathons.
Well, you're bringing a lot of amazing things to Coreum. I could already see how even someone like myself could benefit. So for someone like myself who's planning on, I'm going to be building out my own validator for the network. So you guys would offer some services to help make my validator work at the highest levels. One of the aspects.
Right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Well, this is amazing news. You guys are bringing a lot more than I was expecting to the Corium project. So many tools that you guys are basically giving access to people that are coming to build on Corium. So you mentioned that you're going to be doing a lot of stuff teaching builders how to utilize Core from since you're at a way higher level than me with tech knowledge. Since you've looked at the white paper and you've been probably playing around with the test net, how do you see Corium benefiting your project and also the whole industry as a whole?
Yeah. So as I mentioned briefly, that the Corium is a third generation blockchain, and at the same time, it's very much focused on enterprise grade blockchain. So enterprises has got a lot of challenges today. Let's say if you talk about tokenized assets, so most of the tokenized asset need to have a solid compliance layer. So the user needs to be have a clear identity, a cryptographic identity, which is combined with their real world identity on chain, so that you still can transact using smart contracts, but at the same time, you have an identity defined when you are transacting in some of the tokenized assets. So when we talk about enterprise adoption of blockchain, especially taking an example of tokenized assets where Sologenic has been leaders in the market. So extending this to various other tokenized assets, it requires a lot of compliances, privacy layer, permissioning. So today, this process, if we use some of the private blockchain frameworks, as I mentioned, they do not have native token economics, so they fall short of it. They are highly private in nature, so you do not get the benefits of a public blockchain like censorship resistance or open smart contracts, public viewing, immutability, etc. So Corium blockchain is bringing the best of two worlds, where you have all the tenets of a public blockchain, a decentralized ledger, and at the same time having on-chain KYC and some of the exciting features which are required by enterprises to adopt blockchain. So I think the next wave that we are seeing for the next 3 4 years is where we are going to see immense contribution in the tokenized asset space, tokenization of real world assets, whether it be financial assets or non-financial assets, and enterprises are getting into it. So I think Corium is very well placed in this upcoming um, you know thing that we are going to see in the Web3 world.
Wow, that's exactly what I kind of been speculating through my research, and that the tech that Corin's building off of with the Cosm Wasm, I think really allows a lot of this what you're mentioning. So, a big believer in the IBC and Cosmos. I know you are too with the Polygon connections and everything. But yeah, this has been a great call. I've learned so much from our conversation. I'm so much more excited for this collaboration and for you guys to meet each other in New York. I think this is gonna. I've met a lot of the guys in Vegas. There's some meetup events and very friendly people, and I think you guys are gonna really hit it off. So right now the market is a lot of the people, investors, like it's pretty a low period. Some people are having bear market blues. How do you stay excited every single morning? What keeps you motivated to get up every day and to keep building? And can you answer that question?
Uh, so we all know that there have been a lot of challenges in the market right now with FTX, with BlockFi, and few other failures that happen in the market. But I'm firm believer that Web3 is anti-fragile, and what I mean by anti-fragile is that it's a system which is it's very evident that Web3 is not going to be, you can say, subdued by these kind of instances. In fact, I believe the other way around, where these kind of scenarios are going to make it much more robust, much more mature. So these are, I think, the initial teething problems that any new technology or any new space feels. And Web3 is not about just another technology. It's something, future of internet, a new internet, a decentralized future that we are looking towards. So one is the firm belief that is there, and second, of course, we feel that whenever the markets are down, this is the right time to continue to build innovative products and build some solid partnerships. Identify players who are very futuristic, like Corium, and partner with them and build together. So that is what keeps us excited and motivated to continue to build during these times, because I think times will change very soon. It's a matter of another 3 months, 6 months. But yes, Web3, as I mentioned, is very solidly placed. So we are very excited to continue to build there. And secondly, what we have been seeing is, based on some of the data that we have on our platform, and based on what we are seeing, traction in hackathons and different webinars we are doing, that number of developers are still increasing. So the overall size of developer ecosystem, which is, I think, is the core of Web3. Developer engagement is the critical success factor for any Web3 project. So that is increasing. That is not dampened anyways. In October, November, we have seen massive growth in developer ecosystem. More and more people are either fresh engineers getting into Web3, or Web2 engineers getting converted into Web3. So that's again shows a very big motivation that yes, things are moving in the right place, and there's a huge demand in the market, and yeah, this is the most appropriate time to continue to build.
I totally agree. Last question. So, what do you think the crypto space is going to look like 3 to 5 years from now?
So I think the first trend is we are going to see NFTs beyond collectibles. So tokenization is going to touch every industry, because it's a pure fintech, and I think the next generation of finance. So we are going to see the whole asset management going to be revolutionized in the next 3 to 5 years. Pretty much every asset that we see, whether it be a tangible or digital asset, or physical asset, all those assets are going to be tokenized, and it will be very easy for participating in the asset management life cycle. So that is one big thing that I'm seeing. So I'm very much exuberant on whole DeFi space, especially the tokenization of assets. And second, I'll see that with this, of course, the whole compliance and the current challenges that we are seeing in terms of regulatory oversee or compliance, etc. So there'll finally will come a time when in next 3 to 5 years we'll see a balance that will form, where we'll avoid scenarios like FTX, and we would be encouraging projects which are true to the decentralization. So we'll see more DAOs, more governance contracts coming into play, where again it will be decentralized contracts, open programmable contracts which are defining, but there would be governance. So more governance will be coming into play. So from that perspective, I'll see that all the teething problems are pertaining to the DeFi that we see today, in terms of where there is not much transparency of who is behind what. that is going to be solved with more and more DAOs coming in and more and more compliances coming in through smart contracts.
That's actually what I'm most excited about with Corium, with the governance aspects, the smart contracts. It's going to be huge. So, is there anything else important that I haven't asked you that you would like to share with the listeners today?
No, so I would say that, this is, and I would congratulate each of the listener on the space today because it clearly means that you too are Web3 enthusiast and believer. And I think this space is going to grow huge in coming times, and investing into it from time, resources, mindshare, I think will pay off big times to everyone who is building into this space.
Well, if you guys are new here, we're going to be hosting these every single weekend. So just check into my page, see when the next event is scheduled. You're invited to come back anytime if you want to update us on the progress, especially when you guys open up your service for validators on Corium. I think there's a few people in here that could utilize that service. So it was great. Just let you guys know that these spaces are brought independently by me. If you guys would like to support this channel, you could click the link in the bio and join the Zen Lounge. That's a small monthly fee of $15 a month, and you'll be able to join our networking group and learn all the ins and outs of DeFi and Web3. Uh, I may keep this going. We have CoinHolder, one of the CoinHolder. Will you be in New York? You'll probably be meeting with Dr. Ravi. CoinHolder is part of the Sologenic and Corium team. If he's open, I would love for him to hop on real quick. Let me send him an invite. And he can kind of share some things that he's doing, what he's preparing for New York, and we can keep this space going. And Dr. Ravi, if you have to go, you want to stay and hang out a little bit, I would love to have you here.
Yeah, no,
CoinHolder, how's it
I'll
going?
definitely be here.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy Saturday.
I really wish you would have been able to listen to this. I'm so excited for this project coming.
Yeah, no, it's great. We're really enthusiastic about anyone building on Corium, and Zeeve is one of those heavy hitting projects that we're really excited about.
Yeah, just blown away this whole entire space, everything that was happening. So, can you give us an update on what you guys are preparing for New York?
Yeah, definitely. So, as we kind of touched on, we're just focused on meeting people that are oriented around capital markets. And I think you did say that the co founder of Osmosis will be there. We're scheduling a chat with him just to, explore the possibility of hopefully an integration. Um, and there are a couple other people that are based in New York that we're scheduled to meet with. That's pretty much what we're trying to do is just get an actual presence, a physical presence within these with these events. That's the main goal.
Yeah, well, it seems like each event you guys go to, you always come back with some type of new collaboration or new deal signed. So it's always really exciting to see you guys go out to wherever you go and come back with all this exciting news. It
Yeah,
really gets the community like that adrenaline rush and excitement
yeah, no, definitely.
for
And
being involved.
from what I can tell you is whenever we're at the events, I think a lot of people, or if not most people, are really enthusiastic about our booth in particular, just because everyone knows the tokenization is, it's coming. Tokenization it's already here, and that's what people are really keeping their eye out for is who's going to be facilitating that. Um, so
We just seen that recent article from BlackRock, the CEO basically saying that's the next big thing is tokenization of securities, and Sologenic has been working on perfecting that for the past 2.5 years. So the proof of solvency and the need for DeFi has never been at an all-time high, in my opinion. So it's a beautiful time. beautiful time to be involved in this type of stuff. And then David Schwartz, that's something else we got to talk about. David Schwartz, the creator of the XRP Ledger, has been casually minting NFTs on a Sologenic platform, selling them in Solo tokens. And, not that many people have been talking about that. So the creator himself is utilizing the whole tokenization system. But yeah, that's it. That's really all I got for you guys today. I come back next week. I have some really cool, exciting guests that are going to be planning on coming on. To give you a hint, we have someone coming on to talk about tokenization of jewelry on Sologenic and a couple other exciting projects that are building and creating on the XRP ledger. So make sure to tune in next week. Got some more exciting Twitter spaces, and you can click the link in the bio if you'd like to join the official Zen Lounge collective. Everybody have an awesome day. Make sure to follow Dr. Ravi, and everybody have an awesome day.